New York State Ranger School in Wanakena, New York. That's where we're going. Wanakena is a pretty populous place. There's a lot of people, but there isn't a lot of city type stuff. There's one general store. There's no gas station that I can think of. The Ranger School, New York State Ranger School, is here, and that probably was a big thing at the time. It used to be a railroad stop for some of the mines. There were iron mines and gypsum mines and all sorts of things up the road. And throughout the town, they have cute little walking tour pavilions. We'll walk over to this one here. And it tells of the history of the town of Wanakena. And this is one of them. And it tells about the history of the lumber mine, and the lumber companies, and who they were, and the lumber yards. Then you go over on the other side. It talks about the train lines from the Benson mines to Wanakena. The Wanakena Ranger School, which was that's what it looks like today. Actually, we may go over there, take a picture. And then logging camp life, or whatever type of life it was. Working on the railroad. Some great old pictures. And of course, they get a lot of snow here, but they didn't really care. They still worked through the snow. But sorry, I love history. Wanakena Sawmill. Uh-oh. I got a waterfish here. Come on, get out of the water. He decided to go swimming. They've been waiting to go swimming for the longest time. Come on, you brat. Come on. He walked down there. But these are bridges that go over the river. That's a little bridge. And then way back there is the big bridge. Maybe we'll walk back over there. And this is the big bridge, which goes over the actual channel of the main river. This is the Oswegatchie River. And there's people on the other side here. Come here, Caesar. But this is a navigable channel. They've got buoys and stuff in it. But this is a cable bridge that's just suspended. Caesar says this bridge is moving. This bridge is moving. Get me off. He says, I'll go home with you if you have food at home. This guy says, I don't like this bridge.
It's weird. Nice day out anyways.
Well, it's getting there. Boy, it hasn't been in a while. This is this bridge we were just on. It's a cable suspension bridge. Caesar does not like it at all. It's a pretty long bridge. Pedestrian only, of course. Well, we stopped and talked to one of the locals in Wanakena here, and I said, how far did I have to walk to see the virgin timbers? And he said come down here and park along the road, which is slightly illegal, but he said he was too busy to come and arrest me, so not sure if he was really the police department or what, but we're hiking on a trail here to see if we can find what the forest was like before the loggers came through. And you better believe that logging in the US made a big difference in what's here today. So let's see what we got here. We're being very quiet and sneaky. Dakota keeps seeing ghosts. He runs ahead and then he stops. And then he gets way back. And then he runs ahead and he sees something. See, here he goes. All trails in the Adirondacks are muddy. There's no way around it. It's nice to have people that actually build the trails a little bit so you don't have to get totally muddy. But all trails are muddy. Although, really, it's not mud. It's compost. It's decomposed organic matter. There is no mud in the Adirondacks. I think that's a dinosaur egg. It just hasn't hatched yet. Maybe. These are the bodies and skeletons of former giants laying on the ground of the Adirondacks. You know, the wind comes through and they don't have a good hold. They don't last. Because that's all the Adirondacks is organic matter. Very little actual soil. Here's another one. The skeleton of an old giant. Here are some pretty big hemlocks. A little hemlock forest here. Hemlocks weren't taken by loggers because the wood wasn't very good for what they wanted to use it for. But so there's a lot of old hemlocks. They do take hemlocks now because they find it's good for fences, fence boards. We're up on top of a ridge. I believe this is an esker, which is kind of like a sand dune that has been populated by trees for a couple thousand years, and so they get covered with vegetation and soils, and it makes them very prone to blow. If the wind comes through with any might, it blows all the trees over on the top, which is what the virgin timbers were that I used to go to. This is a big tree. A very big tree. We are little compared to this tree. We're coming out of the thick part of the forest and we're along the lake. And there seems to be a moose around here. There's some moose droppings. There's some more great big trees. Probably a couple 100 years old. People canoe to this. This is like a canoe campsite. Somebody left a nice little teepee fire for somebody. That's the ranger school over there, just across the Well, this really is part of the river, but since they put in a dam and flooded, turned it into a lake, it's all ranger school. And you can see the buoys in the water. There's a channel where the river used to be. Where the buoys aren't, or outside the buoyed channel, there are a lot of trees that are still underwater. The tops have blown off, but the bottoms have not. So we've got a nice little dock here. You can go in, Dakota. They've got this tree chained up so nobody steals it. There he goes. There he goes. The beaver boy. He thinks he's a beaver. Get Caesar. Caesar, get Dakota. Here they go. There he goes. Out around the dock. You're doing good, Caesar. Silly boys. Can you imagine what it must have been like for the first settlers to come into this country and see all these gigantic trees? They're coming from Europe, where pretty much the entire continent has been cut over and burned and pillaged and destroyed, and then there's this incredible amount of beautiful lumber and trees that are 300 to 400 years old, and they just start cutting and doing the same thing all over again. One of the reasons the East Coast has no real wild wilderness. We have some special spots we're trying to preserve, but this is a pretty special spot in my opinion. We walked about 2 miles to get here, so it's worth the walk. It's even the boys liked it. They want to go swimming again. All right. I think that's going to complete our video for the day. Thank you for watching, for coming by. It's really no fun if nobody watches. So keep watching, keep subscribing, and keep commenting. Thanks a lot, folks. Hope to see you on the road. Bye. Put this under the category of something you did not know. When the Civilian Conservation Corps were running around doing their work with the forest and natural lands, every time they came to a spring that was coming out of a wall of rock or out of the side of a hill, they would install a pipe for that spring to flow out of so people could use it for a water source. And in the Adirondacks, there used to be about a dozen or so of these. But the state health department has tried very hard to get rid of them. Because they don't think there's a way to maintain them as safe. They've been there 90 years now. I don't know why they think they're dangerous now, but back in the 30s they didn't have as much seriousness about public health, so I suppose. But this is on Route 3, just west of the Ranger School.